Ding dong. Good morning, everybody. I'm just waiting. I don't know why I have echo. I'm just waiting because I'm having the kids in the room join us as well in the Zoom. Carl, are you joining us? Okay. There you are. There you are, sir. Okay, so if I have this right, I have, hang on a second. Why am I not getting? Okay, let's see. Can you guys hear me all right? Why can't I hear myself in these speakers? Oh, Haley, could you turn your speaker on or your mic on and just talk to me for a minute, please?
Hi.
Okay, so I could check my speakers here. Okay, thank you. Good morning. All right, so I think if I have this right, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 people that are coming from home. Is that correct? Devin, Georgia, Maddie, Haley. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so let me share my screen with you. I'm going to get away from my screen for a second, guys, because I want to turn the lights down in the room so people can see me or see the screen. Apparently, you might not need to. You guys in the room have a choice. Yeah, if you have headphones, guys, or earbuds, if you in the room, if you get them, if you have them that you're using from the other side of the room, you know, from the room, you can get those as well. Because you're not going to need them right this minute, but when we do breakout rooms, we're going to need them. Okay, so guys at home, what? Go ahead, go get your headphones if you need them. Zion, do you need headphones? Huh? Could you go get them, please? Do you need headphones?
I don't have one.
Do you have a pair over there?
No.
Okay, then grab a pair that doesn't have a name on them, and then we'll put your name on them. Okay, so folks out in Zoom land, we're going to do a few things today. So first of all, at some point in the meeting today, this class, I'm going to try to do something called the breakout rooms, where I put you in groups and you're just going to talk to those people in your group for a little bit about the topic. But that's not until a little bit later in the class, okay? So the first thing I want to do is go to our bulletin board. Let me just minimize you guys here. Bulletin board for today. Why are you talking? Okay, so I'm not sure, but I think everybody here did their test and turned it in. But if you didn't, you need to do that today. So number one, we're going to have a new quote. You guys remember when I gave you quote papers to do? Right, you have to, we're going to talk about a quote that I'm going to assign, and then you have to write a paragraph about that. And I'll go through that in a minute. We're going to discuss and read about theme in fictional text. And then we're going to read a short little story together and talk about theme. Okay, you ever get lost? The quote is up here. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Your quote is going to be due this Friday. Okay. So that's our first step. And then we're going to go to classroom. If I can find classroom. Here we go. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take a look at the quote and just kind of, actually, I want to go in a little bit differently than that. Let me go this way. Okay, so you guys know about the topics over here, right? On the left, right? It's a quick way to get to the quotes if you just click on quotes. Okay, if you don't remember how to do a quote, what could you do? Anybody out there in Zoom land want to tell me? Bella, you want to tell us?
You basically just look over there, find quote, find the video, and watch the video.
Okay, so you have two things. You can find the quote video lesson and watch the video lesson again if you forgot how to do it, because that's where we do the example. You could also come here and look at the example paragraph, right? In the example paragraph directions, just like in yours, it's going to give you the 4 steps and then the quote, okay? But it has to be written in paragraph form, and these highlighted sections are what we call transitions into the next step, okay? So if you were, I know a couple of you in the room right now were not in the room with me when we did this lesson, so you may have missed it, but you are still responsible for the work. So let me go back to what the assignment is for today. It's quote number 3. If you open up document, it's going to say your assignment will be graded on the following. You do not need to copy the quote and author. That's an old direction. I didn't realize that was still in here. And then write your paragraph. So underneath here, you're going to write your paragraph. Anybody remember how to indent properly on a computer? Bella? I see you in 2. Hit the tab once, that's right. Okay, so you're going to have to write at least 4 sentences in your paragraph, right? So the first thing to do is explain what you think the quote means, then give an example from life. It could be your life, it could be something you witnessed, it could be something you watched on TV, it could be something you've read, but you need to give an example. Zion, are you awake? Are you with me today? Zion, okay. All right, and then you're going to reword the quote, put it in your own words, and then you're going to tell me whether you agree with it or not and why. And don't just tell me because it's true. I want a reason that you agree with it or a reason that you disagree with it. You can disagree with it. You just have to tell me why, and it better be a good reason, because I'll argue it. I will discuss it. Okay, so the quote this week is "No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted." And this is from Aesop, from Aesop's Fable. Some of you may have read those somewhere along the line in your life, but folks at home and folks here in the room, could we discuss what this means? No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. The only one answering my questions today is Bella. Anybody else out there? And well, this does not look like your hand is up. I'm sorry. Let me like this. Yes, Paige.
No matter how small. Okay. I think that this quote means that no matter how little you might do for somebody that's kind, it still matters. Like
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if you heard her, but she said, no matter how small the act of kindness is or how little the gesture is, it's not wasted. Why isn't it wasted? Will the person on the other end of the kindness, will they appreciate it, you think?
they put a little joy in their heart.
You put a little joy in your life, right? I can't tell you the number of times when I'm having a cruddy morning and I come in and a kid will say, "Oh, good morning, Miss Jost," or like when I'm walking into the building, you know, it sort of like lightens my day. Just somebody saying good morning in a nice way, or somebody picking up a piece of paper, or like today I asked Carl to put some chairs down in the room. He was like, "Okay, sure," you know, like fine, you know, it just makes everybody's day a little bit better. So I don't think this is a difficult quote. Where kids get messed up is they get confused about this no matter how small. Okay, basically, if you took "no matter how small" out of the quote and you just read it as "no act of kindness is ever wasted," right? Does that make sense to you? Right? If you do acts of kindness, people are going to appreciate them. People are going to like you doing that. And then the "no matter how small" is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a huge gesture. You don't have to bring somebody like a turkey dinner right? Especially now, nobody wants to eat turkey now, right? But it could be something like somebody drops something and you pick it up and you hand it to them, right? In COVID, that's a little bit harder to do, but I mean, those kinds of things. Little gestures matter as well as the big ones. I'm not saying you shouldn't do the big gestures. I'm saying that we should all try to do little gestures all the way along the line. Yes, Devin, turn your mic on, buddy.
Can you give someone a blanket and a pillow and tell them?
Hold on a second. Say that again because I didn't understand you.
I said, can you give someone a pillow and a blanket and they go to sleep? Are they happy?
I would think so. It's better than going to sleep without a pillow and a blanket, don't you think?
I'd be happy.
They'd be going to sleep.
Or rest,
I'm
right?
always happy when I get.
Please don't get a pillow and a blanket right now because you're in class, dude. Okay, is everybody okay with the meaning of this quote? All right, anybody have any questions? Let me just check my Zoom people. Okay, so I'm going to leave this. This is due on Friday. Can you turn it in earlier? Certainly. I'm looking for capital letters, punctuation, complete sentences. It's basically 4 steps: meaning, example, put it in your own words, your opinion, and why. From your life, okay? But it could be something you witnessed. Okay, so that's due on Friday. So we're going to move on from there. We're going to go back to classroom. And today we are actually working with something called theme. And I'm not going to click on this yet, but does anybody either at home or here know what theme means? Carl? Kind of, you're on the right track. The theme is sometimes, it's connected to the meaning, but it's bigger than the meaning. Huh? It is the message. You want to see my trick? Here's my trick. Hold on, let me reduce these people again. Move you out of my way. Okay, so you got the word theme, T-H-E-M-E, right? Theme, the message. It's my trick to remember what theme means, the message. Okay, so a lot of times theme's hard to understand, but we're going to work with that a little bit. So if you could all go, let me find where I am. Well, we could share my screen for now, I guess, and then you might have to open it up later. I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. So, you know, we're all learning how to break out together. So there is this topic called theme, and I have this thing posted. Somebody already turned it in. I don't know why. You don't even know what you're supposed to do. I wonder who that person is. That drives me crazy when I haven't done the lesson and somebody's turned it in already. Okay, so on this page, okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. All right. So the introduction to this says a close read, theme in fiction. Fiction is what kind of story, somebody? What kind of story or fictional stories?
Fake.
Fake, made up, right? They could be based on real life, but they are made up characters, made up situations, that kind of thing, right? So it says the elements of a story help develop its theme. An element is a part of a story, okay? In most stories, authors do not directly tell you the theme. Instead, they develop it through their use of various literary elements. Readers use details in these elements as clues to the story's main message. As you read a story, look for key details in the following elements. Think about the message these details suggest. Okay, so I'm gonna try something here that I've never done before. So we've got plot and conflict, setting, characters, descriptions, and symbols. So your job, once I break you into groups, and like I said, I don't know how this is gonna work. Once I break you into groups, your job is going to read the part about your section, okay? Whether it be plot and conflict or setting or characters or description and symbols. You're gonna read that with the people in your group. You're gonna discuss it with the people in your group. And then we're gonna come back as a whole group and we're going to have you share out what you learned in your section. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. All right, so Like I said, I don't know how this is gonna work. Now, you might have to, and I don't know this, but you guys, once I break you into groups, you might have to go back to Classroom and open up this document on your screen, because I don't know if my screen will still be shared with you. Bella already split the screen. You did too. Okay, so some people already split the screen. I don't know what's gonna happen once we go into breakout groups. But you know what? Dang. I thought I fixed this, but maybe I didn't. Hold on, because it's not chat. Breakout rooms, here we go. Okay, I want to create 4 groups. And it's going to randomly pick you, okay? So I'm just going to create the groups, see what happens. Okay, so room 1 is Bella, Devin, and Maddie. You guys are going to do the pink section, plot and conflict, okay? Room 2, Haley, Kaden, and even though it says Terry, it's really Georgia. You're going to be room 2, you're going to be green. I better write this down. So pink is Bella, green is Kaden. So Haley, Kaden, and Georgia, okay, are going to be green setting. Room 3 is going to be Alex and Zion, and you're going to do that purple color, which is characters. Okay, and then Carl and Paige, you guys are going to do, what color is that? Orange?
Yellow.
Yellow? I don't, depends on your screen. Okay, you guys are going to do description and symbols. Okay, got it? All right, so I'm going to create, I'm going to open the rooms. I think that's what I got to do. And then you have to hit join. And I can go into any one of your rooms at any time. Okay, you need to have your headphones on. Are those headphones working?
No.
Okay, well, let's go.
Everything's literally all, these are all right there in the box.
I always said, I do not start 10 minutes by school and then go on to.
Okay, while we're getting Carl set up, maybe you could read.
Then let me join.
Then let her join.
Yeah, I could join and just did nothing.
Hit join again.
Imagine. They popped up, just said join. Right.
Okay.
Let me see what I have over here.
This one will work. So we just have to do the yellow.
Okay, so Haley and Georgia, you have to click on join to join your room to be able to talk to each other.
Where is it?
Do you see my screen? Okay, do you see where it says join? See your name under room 2? Caden, I think you're gonna have to go out and rejoin the room. Okay, Alex and Zion, I know it looks like you got bumped off for some reason. Maybe you can try to rejoin. That's what Caden's doing. So Bella, Devin, and Maddie, are you guys working? Yeah, you're gonna have to because you got bumped off. Okay, Haley, are you on your computer? Do you see my screen? Okay, do you see where I'm pointing where your name is? Over here. Do you see that? Because you have to go to where it says room 2 and you need to click on your name and then hit join. You too, Georgia. It looks like you were in it and then you got back out. Okay, you were room 2, Kate? Okay, Zion, I need you to log back in. Okay, and then I'll let you back into the room. Hang on a second. Okay, Zion, should be able to join now. Okay, Haley, can you show me your screen? Hold on a second. Let me give you permission to show me your screen so I can help you. Hang on, Matt. Okay, Haley, I'm not sure what you're looking at. I can't unshare my screen right now. So you should be looking at my screen. Guys, when you joined the room, were you on my screen when you joined or your screen? I mean, did you join the room from the little the window that popped up on from this window, or did you join it from somewhere else? It just automatically popped up? You didn't have to click anything here? Okay, well, Haley, this is what I'm gonna have you do. I'm gonna have you read the green section by yourself in the document, okay? And then you'll have to talk about it when we come back together, okay? In the meantime, I'll try to figure out something else, how to share my screen with you. Or your screen with me.
I have a green share button that says in the bottom.
Okay, so try that.
It says you disable the screen
Yeah, I know,
sharing.
I'm trying to figure out how to undisable it. That's my problem. Okay, what are you doing? You're not supposed to read the story. The only thing you're supposed to read is the section on the page that I showed you. Follow directions, please. So hold on. The only thing you're supposed to read is the box. So what did you have? You had description and symbol. That's the only thing you're supposed to do is this box and this box. It's the only thing you're supposed to be reading. Nobody told you to do anything else but read those two things and discuss them. And then we're going to come back and you're going to teach the rest of the class about that. Okay? Okay, Haley, try now sharing your screen with me. Okay. Can you expand your window, honey? Can you open it up all the way? Okay. I'm not sure, hon. So just keep doing what you're doing there. Okay. You could stop sharing your screen with me. I'm not sure what happened there. No, don't leave the meeting. You want to stop sharing your screen. There we go. Thank you. Is that giving you a countdown? Supposed to.
One more report.
Yeah, but it's supposed to give you a countdown. I don't know how.
So like it's probably, if you want to see how the conflict started, what the plot was, and how it shows results. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm going to close the rooms. Hopefully you won't lose my screen. I'm going to close the breakout rooms, I think. Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to close the breakout rooms and hopefully that won't like disconnect all of us from everything. Oh, they'll close in there. You got another minute. Okay, so in the meantime, you guys can return to me if I know some of you did. Like I said, I'm learning this as we go. So, well, not everybody got on. So, all right, Alex and Georgia and Zion, you have to disconnect from your breakout room. Whatever it says, unjoin, disjoin, what does it say? As I was saying it, you clicked off. I don't want him to join. Georgia, can you disconnect from the breakout room? I think it'll happen in like 5 seconds anyway. Okay. All right, let's see if we lost anybody. All right, everybody's there. Good. Okay, so theme is the message of the story. And basically what this page does is it tells us different ways or different things to pay attention to when you read a fictional story to sort of get to the theme, right? Kids always have a hard time understanding what the message or the meaning of the story is, right? So if you start to pay attention to these other elements in stories, that should help you understand the theme. So the first group had plot and conflict. Could somebody in the first group tell me what plot means? I'm going to need people to turn their screens on. Okay, Devin, were you in the first group? What's plot mean?
Plot is a series of events in the story.
Okay, so plot's the series of events in the story. You guys might know that as sequence of events, right? But it's what happens when it happens. So if you start to pay attention to the plot, what's going on in the story, that will help you understand the theme better. What is conflict in a story? Somebody in that first group? Bella?
Conflict in this thingy is like what the problem is, and you want to see if it's resolved.
Okay, so conflict is the problem. I'm telling you right now, if you have a story that has no conflict, you don't have much of a story. It's really boring. It's one of those that makes you sleep. The thing that keeps us reading is the problems in the story that the people are facing and how they deal with them. Okay.
And Kevin said while we were reading, he goes, so it's basically like you guys get in a fight and they either become best friends or enemies.
Yeah. I don't like, are you guys getting feedback? I don't know how to do this part. Okay, so.
She reworded that.
Huh?
I mean,
She
yeah,
reworded that.
sort of.
I don't know what you said.
I said she took that for her own words.
Okay, so what were some of the tips to look for when you're looking at plot and conflict? Because everybody else in the room and at home that did not read the pink part should be paying extra special attention right now because you didn't read that part. So I don't know why you're on your keyboards. You should be like paying attention to what people are saying. All right, so somebody in the first group, tell us what are some of the tips to look for when you're looking at plot and conflict? Go ahead, Belle. Oh, who's that? Is that Maddie?
Yeah.
Raising your hand? Go ahead, Maddie, say something.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
What? What did you say?
She said she forgot what she was gonna say.
Okay, but it's right in front of you in the pink box.
We just read it.
Okay, so go ahead, Bella.
To think about the reasons for conflict and to notice how the characters respond to the conflict.
Okay, so why is there conflict? How do the characters
Respond.
react to the conflict, right? God bless you, are they able to resolve the conflict, in other words,
Yeah.
fix it, right?
And identify lessons.
Right, did the
That's-
characters learn anything? That's the other thing I always look for when I read a story. Like a good story to me is when characters change from the beginning to the end. Like if they
Like-
stay pretty stagnant, I don't find it very interesting.
Like Save Me a Seat.
Yeah, the kids changed. All right, who was in my setting group, the green group? Kaden and Georgia and Haley. Haley couldn't get into their group, so she read it on their own, but you guys had to do it setting. Haley, could you turn your mic on and tell us what setting means?
Setting is the time and place of the story. In some stories, setting is just a background. In other stories, setting is an important clue to theme.
Right. So setting is not just where something takes place, but it's also the time period. The story Save Me a Seat would not have been the same if it was set 50 years ago. The other two novels we read in sixth grade, one is set during the Great Depression and the other one is set during westward expansion. So those are very different time frames that impact the story greatly. Okay. So what are some of the things, who else was in there, Caden? What are some of the things we should look for when we're looking at setting? Look on the screen, it's on the screen. In the green box, the tips. What are some of the tips?
Identify the time and place in which the story is acting.
Okay, so I think, Georgia, could you tell us another tip? Georgia, are you still there? Could you unmute your mic, Georgia, and tell us another tip to look for setting?
Okay, sorry, I couldn't get it on for a
That's okay.
minute.
Go ahead.
You can help find details that help you with the picture of the setting, like to see if they're outdoors or inside, and if they name a place or event that they're going to or that they're in then.
Okay, so, and then details in the setting, like you try to picture it. So certainly if you guys are reading about the Great Depression, it's hard for me to picture what life was like back then in the 1930s. I'm sure it's even more difficult for you. So if you start to try to get those visualizations, that helps as well, right? Okay, who was my purple group with the characters? Okay, so that was Alex and Zion. Go ahead. So what are characters?
People or animals in the story.
Okay, people or animals in the story. Okay. And what are some things we need to look for when we're looking for theme? What are some things we need to pay attention to? Okay, so that was hard to hear. So look at words that describe the characters. So character description, and think about their actions, what they think, what they say, what they do. That also, the same things that lend you to figure out what kind of character they are, what kind of character traits they have, will also help you get to the theme as well. What else do we need to pay attention to, Alex or Zion? Go ahead.
Notice whether the characters change as a result of their experiences.
Okay, notice whether the characters change. We already talked about that a little bit, right? When we talked about theme or conflict, right? Okay. And then ask yourself whether the characters learn from their experiences. Because if they don't learn from the experience, it's just like life. It's kind of like, eh. All right. So I want to finish this. I think we have about 5 minutes left. So can somebody tell me, I think it was Paige and Carl, you had descriptions and symbols. And I honestly think these might be two of the elements that you might not be that familiar with. So what did you learn about descriptions and symbols?
I hope we know what the symbol is.
Okay, so go ahead, Carl. Tell us about description.
How what something looks like, sounds like, and feels like, and so on.
Okay, it's how something is described, right?
Like the 5 senses.
Right. So, right. I don't know if you guys can hear. How are you guys doing hearing each other? Like, I know, but Paige just spoke. So can other people hear Paige?
No.
Okay, so that's one of the things. If we are talking, we're in the room or not, when you're speaking, you have to unmute your mic. Okay, we have 3 minutes left. Good thing I figured that out.
It's like you use the 5 senses. So feel, seeing things, like smelling. I don't know why I said nose. What it tastes like. All the different 5 senses.
Right, and that's good writing gets to your 5 senses. Have you ever read something where, like, there's Amy Tan, we're actually going to read a story from her this month, and she's one of my favorite authors because she's a Chinese American, and when she describes meals,
Yes.
my mouth waters reading them. That's how good she is at describing them. Okay, so what else did we learn? That's description, and then symbol, we should sort of be with.
So a symbol is anything that represents something else, like how different flags represent things is what I automatically think of. The
Right.
American flag represents America. The different flags for the countries. It's just something that stands for another thing.
Something else. And in literature, it's hard. So we only have a couple minutes left, so I'm just going to go real quick. So when you're noticing descriptions and symbols, if something is described and they're especially vivid, especially strong descriptions, you probably should pay attention to them, right? Because that might lead you to the theme. If it's repeated over and over again, repetition, right? You should pay attention to that. If you're determined whether certain objects, people, or places have a special meaning to the narrator or character. When we read Bud Not Buddy, he carries around a suitcase and he carries things in his suitcase for a reason. They are symbols to him. Okay, so we're going to run out of time. I think this went okay. We only had one person not get into a breakout room. But the lesson today is how to figure out themes and what to pay attention to when you're working with trying to figure out a theme. You pay attention to the plot, to the conflict, to the setting, to the characters and the descriptions and symbols. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to read a story called Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, and we're going to do that together and focus in on all of those things. Okay. I don't think that went so bad. Does anybody in Zoom land have a question for me? Yes, Haley, turn your mic on, please.
If we already did this, do we turn this in now? Or do we leave it not turned in?
Okay, what do you mean? This is just classwork. We're working with this document again tomorrow. There's nothing to turn in at this point. Okay, so you don't have to turn this in. We're going to be reading together. Okay, so if you submit it, we're going to be working in the same document tomorrow because that's where all the work is. That's where all the reading text is. Okay, so don't turn it in yet. When we get done with this document, you could turn it in. There'll be another document. Okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense? All right, I am going to end the meeting. So Zoomers, have a lovely day. I'll see most of you tomorrow. Georgia, I'll see you tomorrow morning on Zoom.
Bye.
Bye.
I did leave before she.
Bye.
Why didn't that work? And